In 2021, the automotive industry was crazy. You couldn't find vehicles. But what was even crazier is that Ford did a mic drop. They introduced the Ford Maverick, which was one of the hottest pickup trucks to hit the market in a very long time. From 2021 to 2024, this is known as the first generation Ford Maverick.
In 2025, the first generation of Ford Maverick continues, but with a brand new face and new interior. Welcome to Performance on Wheels. Let's check out the difference on the new 2025 Ford Maverick.
In today's video, we're ultimately just going to show the difference between old versus new.
Which starts off right up front. Now, this first generation Ford Maverick, I actually was a really big fan of the front end of, and I thought they did a great job on it. There's a few things here and there that a lot of people didn't like no fog lights and the way that they put the radar inside of the grill. But all in all, this was a really great first go around at a truck. The other thing that kind of sucked about the Ford Maverick was, I mean, they were really good. It's headlights. However, they were never like some of Ford's high-end headlights, but that changes on the new Maverick. Let's check it out.
There's a lot of opinions about the 25 Ford Maverick saying that it looked better or looked worse. Whichever side of the fence you on, that's your opinion. But I must say, when we looked at the 25 by itself, there was a few things that we questioned. But now that we look at them side by side, I must say, I really do like the redesign up front. And let's just talk through a few of those. Obviously, as Austin already hit on, we do have a completely different headlight. As the trims go up, we are looking at Lariat versus Lariat here. So we have that DRL, that daytime running light, that is completely different on the 25 compared to the 24. It's a really cool look, and we also have those LED projector bulbs. In addition, just to the next to the headlights there, we have all new grills. And what Ford did with the Maverick here is all the different trim lines have a slightly different grill, so you can really tell the difference between the trims. On the Lariat here with the gloss black, I really love the openness. I love the design. It looks sporty. It looks luxurious. It looks really good in person, I must say. And obviously we have the new Ford Emblem as well. Austin already kind of hit on where the fog lights go down here. You can see that we have a different indentation for that area. And it doesn't look as cheap as it did on the 24 Maverick. You have a little gloss black along with dimension added in there. And shifting over to the middle of the Maverick, you can see that now the radar sensing cruise control is down below the front bumper or below the license plate area, where before on the 24 that was up above the license plate. They did a really great job of integrating the front parking sensors on the 25 in the Lariat edition here as well. The Velocity Blue on the 25 looks absolutely stellar, and it's not dismissing the Atlas Blue over here on the 24, but I have to say this thing absolutely pops. We did get to see the Lobo version. We're excited to review that in a coming video, so make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can check out the Lobo with us in the future as we zip around in it. One thing that is kind of fun, just so you understand this is the same truck at the end of the day, we have the exact same amber colored side markers on these trucks. So it is the same truck, just with a facelift. We do have some new wheel options. The front end is new. We're going to be excited to show you some inside here in just a minute, but let's go around to the side quick.
As we transition onto the side, I did want to bring up one more thing, and that's the inside of that headlight housing. On both the XL, XLT, Lariat, Tremor trims, the inside of those housings are now blacked out. Like, you used to only get that with the black appearance package, but you now get that on all trims, which I think is pretty cool and really adds a bit of style and design. On XLT and Lariat, the wheels went up 1 inch in size, so we have larger wheels that are optioned on both of these vehicles. It looks really, really good, the wheels that are optioned on this Lariat right here. Also, as you move around the side to this mirror, we do have a 360-degree camera, which was not an option at all on the previous model years of Maverick. This 360-degree camera can be used by touching the camera button on the dash. You can see all views of the camera while driving at any speed, which I think is pretty dang cool. However, I really wish that those side view cameras came on and used our turn signals like we can see in some Hyundai and Kia products. However, they are very good. They're very high quality on that new screen compared to what we saw in the previous years. Let's head to the back.
As we're making our way to the back of the Maverick, let's not forget to look at the roof line of the 25. We have a painted black roof on this Velocity Blue. It looks really darn cool. That is an option you can get, so just make sure you're speccing that out. It does a really good job of lowering like the center of gravity, more of a sport theme as well as luxury, kind of depending on the look you're going for in your Maverick. And that's what's fun about these, is personalizing them. Going to the back now, we can see that there's not a lot of differences. We do have those blacked out taillights, which is really cool over on the 25. It does add a lot. But the taillights, looking from side to side, looking between the two, they are identical. The bumpers, they're identical. The trailer hitch is identical. What is different is the emblem. You have that blacked out Ford emblem. It does look nicer on the 25 in my opinion, but there's not a whole lot that is different on the Mavericks. The one thing that is different that we will be sharing in a future video is if we were to look underneath these and we had a hybrid that was all-wheel drive. You can get one now in the 25 Maverick. That's one of the biggest things that I think is awesome about the 25, is that all-wheel drive hybrid option, where previously if you wanted that, you could only get front-wheel drive.
And there's a lot of really cool stuff that goes along with that hybrid all-wheel drive system. That means that we can now get the 4K tow package on a hybrid Maverick, which is really dang cool. Usually we can only get that with the 2-liter. That also means that even with the hybrid all-wheel drive, we get upwards of 40 miles per gallon, which is super impressive in an all-wheel drive Maverick. And just to show the difference for you guys, this would be the same whether it's a hybrid 2-liter. Check out the acceleration in the snow between a front-wheel drive and an all-wheel drive. As you can see, the all-wheel drive Maverick really grips the road quite well, and it takes off quite quickly compared to the front-wheel drive Maverick, which is sitting there spinning, struggling for traction between the two of these vehicles. Also, I will have to say, however, the all-wheel drive is really fun to throw around the corners when you do have the 2-liter. That additional power and low-end torque from the turbo does make it a pretty good time to be behind the wheel of. With all of the driving aspects and powertrain out of the way, let's talk about the brand new interior in the Maverick.
Sitting behind the wheel of the 25 Ford Maverick is where we notice the largest changes over the previous iteration. And that would be the fact that it now comes with Sync 4, where the previous generations, you didn't even get Sync 3 until you stepped up all the way to the Lariat. And that was the largest complaint across the board on the Ford Maverick. There's a lot of issues on the XL and XLT kind of fake sync system that the Maverick had powering its head unit. However, now that we have Sync 4, we get this significantly larger screen in the middle of our dashboard, as well as this digital instrument cluster, which we can find over in the Ford Escape as well. Now, this does add a lot of functionality inside of the Maverick. However, my biggest complaint with it is it's kind of grainy. It's kind of a low quality display. If you look close at it, you can see some of the individual pixels, which I think is kind of disappointing, especially when you're talking about a $40,000 little truck here. Of course, this is great when you're talking about an XL, but as you work your way up, I just really wish that it had a little bit more quality on this display. This one is absolutely fantastic, looks flawless, looks amazing. And this one does have a lot of great functionality to it. I just wish the quality was there. But for some reason with this new display, they also decided to change our drive modes to bringing the buttons up onto the steering wheel here. Everything else is laid out the exact same other than our drive mode selector. We have our same cruise control, adaptive cruise control buttons, same way that we use all of the functionality inside of the instrument clusters here. However, let's hop over onto the inside of this display here to show you what all the additional features are. This here is going to be the new home screen that you're going to find inside of your Maverick. It does look quite nice. It did a great job designing it. I'm a big fan of the night mode that it's currently in, but I think the largest amount of complaints are going to be on this bottom dial right here. And what this is all of your climate control buttons. If you press here, we can open up our full climate control tab, and we no longer have physical buttons. All of it is controlled directly through this page right here. So unfortunately, no more physical climate control buttons, but it does seem to work pretty good. It does have a little bit of lag to it, however. We do have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay still standard, and it is now wireless opposed to wired like it was in all trims of the previous Maverick. This added a lot of functionality inside of the Maverick. It looks quite nice. Unfortunately, no ambient lighting has been added, but ultimately it looks good. It feels nice. I think this is a big upgrade over the previous generation of Maverick. What I meant by ambient lighting is the previous gen Lariat had this as well. I just wish we had some more color options opposed to just the standard Ford blue color. But ultimately, lots of additional settings have been added inside of here. So once you get your new Maverick, you have to play around with it. But Definitely added a lot of functionality, and this is a huge upgrade over before. Our start stop button has stayed in the same location, or if you do have a power rear window in the same spot, basically the same USBs and all that good stuff, same wireless charger. Just right here is changed where we added some additional buttons. This does feel kind of cheap when you use some of these. They're not individual buttons. It's like one big touchpad. But if we do press this camera button here, if you look up here, you have the availability to see all of our new camera features here on the Lariat with our 360-degree camera. Definitely added a lot of different spots that you're able to look with your 360. So that's pretty nice for sure.
The 25 Maverick does have something that I really like, and then there's some things that some people may dislike in regards to the interior. I really do like how it says Maverick across the back of the seat. I think that looks really cool. I always like that touch. The one thing that is changed is there is some different interior color options. Now, some people are going to like some more standard, or I will say maybe even boring interiors compared to some of the two-tones or different accent colors that were available from 21 to 24. So that's just personal preference, but there are some subtle differences with trim and with color and paneling on the inside. But for the most part, it feels very, very similar in here outside of what Austin highlighted with the infotainment as well as instrument cluster. Everything else feels very familiar inside of the Maverick. So this is our infotainment in the 21 through 24, but keep in mind that this is the nicer one because we are in a Lariat. So this one does respond a little better and has a little bit more clarity to the display, has some more features and settings in here. But at the end of the day, for a brand new vehicle in 2024, it does feel already old buying a new car in 2024. The same can be said for the instrument cluster, and that is mostly because we still have like the analog speedometers, and we are in the hybrid here, so you can see over on the left-hand side that we have our battery gauge giving us the status of if we are using battery or if we are under gasoline power, which is nice. And then in the center is the only spot where we have that digital display, a little bit bigger on a Lariat in the 21 through 24, so keep that in mind. Really excited knowing that we are the #1 Maverick channel here on YouTube. With all the different previous videos you have to make sure and look at, because we had a lot of fun with Mavericks. We lowered them, we raised them, we drove them stock, we shared our journey with you and the 3 Mavericks that Austin owned. I'm really excited about what Ford did for 25, especially with the Lobo. Additional personalization is what they brought to the table with some fun new options, enhancing what was already a great vehicle.
I'm really excited for the 25 Maverick. I think you guys are going to really enjoy it. Now the question is it worth upgrading from a 21 through 24 to a 25 Maverick? And that ultimately is your call. Is the new headlights and the new interior worth it for you? It ultimately, in my opinion, would come down to if you're in an equity position, if you're able to make some money on it. I can promise you, unlike the past, the 25 Mavericks are going to depreciate in value. There is not going to be this crazy market like there was previously. So it's up to you. If I was in a great equity position and had a nice 21 through 24, I don't think it's really worth the upgrade. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of think I like the instrument cluster and the Lariat to the previous gen more than the new one, but the new screen is better, some of the new tech is better. I like the new front end more. And heck, my fiance wants another Maverick so dang bad that a new Lobo might be in the garage someday soon. I guess we'll find out. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. We look forward to seeing you soon.